Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Marcus from tcgdiscussions coming at you with a championship finals review of Blackbeard gameplay. We're going to do this for all of the Blackbeards. And the reason why I'm actually super focusing on Blackbeard is to help the community learn how to play this deck. Blackbeard's probably one of the most slept on decks right now. In my personal opinion, a lot of people think that his matchups spread into certain matchups are just so abysmal and bad, or that people are teching for him, and ergo, he is not very viable. I will say that this matchup, particularly, is what people consider to be one of his worst. However, we're going to see how the Blackbeard player navigates this, and what Dofi player does to kind of win. And we're going to talk about the play lines of both players and whether or not they things good or things that are bad, right? And basically kind of talk about the in-depth. Throughout this video, I'm going to give you my knowledge on what I would do, and we'll see if they do it. I haven't really watched these. I just know of the wins. I know that if I'm the Doflamingo player, I'm certainly not keeping this hand whatsoever. In this matchup, you're basically only going to get one turn to play your one drops. If Dofi wins second here, he would be favored, but I imagine the Blackbeard probably took second. But Perona is the card that you really want to see in hand. And if you're the Doflamingo player, do I basically keep this hand? So Sengoku is going to get a search, but then the next top 5 will be blind, which is why Perona is preferred here. If you're going first, this also means any of your 4 drops really won't be played, and the best card in his hand is Jozu, which won't even be able to be played until what, 1, 2, 3 to his 4th turn. So it's kind of a rough hand. Then you have basically a 2k that's playable, which is just not good. If I'm the Blackbeard player, I keep this hand immediately. I have Dot Q and I have an Augur, which is just absolutely incredible. Definitely one of the best combinations against Blue Doflamingo in the matchup. If you're Blackbeard, you're happy, you should keep this. It looks like Dofi opted to keep this hand. Blackbeard is elated to keep this hand. We'll see who goes first and who goes second. I imagine if you're Blackbeard here, there's 2 schools of thought going first and second if you're Blackbeard. Second, you get an extra hand to play, a card to play with, and they have less time to play more than one drop. I imagine he made the Dofi player go first. Looks at the top 5, Double Law, can't really see what the other 2 is in the Weevil. I would take the Weevil because it's the best card to play down, for sure, absolutely. And then I expect Blackbeard to Dot Q KO the Sengoku, and then discard and pass. And I'd probably end up pitching stronger here. Yeah. He's going to pitch stronger. Yep. Okay. Everything's just going according to plan. Dofi is going to swing 7 here. I'm going to pause real quick. If this is blind, this is a horrible thing for Doflamingo. If this is why Sengoku is bad. If this is a blind hit, this would be absolutely terrible. The other thing is if you're Doflamingo in this position, you immediately need to attack the Dot Q, okay? Because if the card off the top is a body, you don't want Laboon to come down and then Dot Q to be able to KO. He will get value that he just wouldn't have got if you just got rid of him. Whereas if you KO the Dot Q, there basically isn't a way for you to get rid of the body without a finger gun or black hole. So we'll see where he swings. He's thinking about it. This should be automatic. If I'm the Doflamingo player, I'm automatically swinging a Dot Q. Looks like he swung a Dot Q. Oh, and it's a whiff on Jozu. He swung into life. Oh my gosh. This is just about as bad. This is a terrible. This is about as bad as you can get. Now the Dot Q doesn't need to turn sideways, so it's not vulnerable. And he has Burgess in hand, so he's going to be able to safely establish Burgess. This is just about as bad as you can get of a situation for the Dofi player. What a terribly slow start. If I'm the Blackbeard player here, I'm probably pitching the Vasco shot and keeping the KO card. Oh wow, he got rid of the Liberation. That's kind of crazy. I'm not really sure why he did that, but we'll see. So we're going into 5 Dawn. He can safely play a 4 cost and then swing 6, which I think is what he should do. Should probably play the Weevil. Yep. And then the problem though in this situation is this is exactly what I was talking about with the dot Q. Now see the liberation, he did get rid of it from his hand, but he has Van Auger already. So now Blackbeard's gonna be able to swing 6 and use Van Auger's effect to kill this Weevil, and he wouldn't have had a play to KO the Weevil he's about to play unless he kept the black hole in his hand. He should have swung at the dot Q. I mean, this is just terrible. Now this is the second card that dot Q was KO'd in the matchup. This putting Doflamingo very, very, very behind, because in these 1-for-1 trades, like for example, the Doflamingo player cannot really counter a whole lot, right? And he's going to be countering a little bit here and doing what he can do, but it's going to be difficult and tough. I think that it's going to be a very, very hard situation for the Doflamingo player to come back from, because of the value that he just got of removing this body again. His tempo is completely slowed down. Swing 6, Van Auger KO, yep. If I'm him, I'm probably pitching the Vasco shot again. Oh, he's debating on whether to swing with the Burgess. Interesting. So Burgess is a 5K swing here. He pitches Laboon. Okay, not bad. I wouldn't pitch that in case I got another dot Q off the top or out of life. The reason he probably swung Burgess here is because Dofi's going to 7, and if he has Grav Blade, he could probably end up Grav Blading the Van Auger and the Burgess. Now, if you don't have Grav Blade, you Dawn load up and then swing into the Burgess that's tapped. So it's very tough. It's very, very tough. He's thinking about what to do. Maybe he could play Sengoku. He's thinking maybe I should play Sengoku and a body. That would probably be preferred. But it's not obvious what you swing into here, because here's the thing, if you play your body, it's going to get KO'd. You don't want the Burgess to get too big and be a threat later, so you almost have to attack the Burgess. And then if you swing into the Burgess and play the Boa and the Sengoku, oh, he's trying to, oh my gosh, wow. So 2 blind whiffs in a row. Wow. So Burgess is going to die here. This is crazy. So now he's down to just another 4-drop. And then again, I talk about this. At the very beginning, he should have attacked the dot Q. This dot Q is about to get rid of a 3rd card. That's insane. I mean, this is very unlucky if you're the Doflamingo player, for sure. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like a knowledge check. You don't just win this because you're Doflamingo. And his opponent has misplayed severely. And now he's going to be able to swing 7, play Vasco, and another Burgess. Wow, this is crazy. So Dofi is probably going to take this. The reason you can't counter out of this in hand is because you just need to go as wide as possible. But in this situation, it's now almost going to be too late. Because he's only going to get 1 swing, and on top of it, wherever he swings, if it's going to threaten the cards that he could use to KO a card, he is basically going to block. There's just nothing to do. And Teach is coming down next turn. Wow. And is that like double pudding off the top? If you're the Doflamingo player, I really don't know what you do here. I really don't know what you do here if you're the Doflamingo player. I mean, this is just terrible. This is probably one of the worst positions I think I've ever seen a Dofi in. And for this to be like the final match to determine who wins the championship, that's like crazy. Whiffed twice. You know, this is also the luck of Doflamingo, right? And he could have curbed. This game actually would probably still be very good for Doflamingo if he had gotten rid of the dot Q early. I don't know where he's going to swing here. I imagine it's going to be at life because it feels almost irrelevant to go after the board. But I mean, like, you could still swing. Luckily, he did get a Boa hit here. You could still swing at the dot Q, though, to get rid of it. 7 Dawn left, maybe? What was it, 9? 6 Dawn left. Jozu? Is it just a Jozu here? It looks like it is. Yeah, just plays Jozu and passes. Wow. Talk about rough. Talk about rough. Now he has Jack in hand too, so he could get rid of the Jozu if he wanted to establish Jack and then follow that up with the 10 cost Blackbeard. And then just pressure down the boa. That is a very legitimate line for him to do here. I imagine he'll just play 10 cost Teach and get rid of the boa with the Dot Q and the Van Augur. But it is tempting, right? You could just Van Augur kill the Jozu and then Dawn stack, what is it? 6, 7, 8, 8, 6 into the boa and just ask for cards in his hand, which is resources he can't use anymore. He's choosing to just kill the boa, pressure life, and then play 10 cost Teach, which getting the card established is good because this means that if the Doflamingo player wants to red rock the Teach, he will basically commit the majority of his turn to getting rid of it, and simultaneously the Jozu cannot attack. And so this still leaves him with 1 attack and he can still protect his board. And this pigeonholes Dofi into another 4 cost play, of which it won't get its effect, and he'll be able to get rid of it with the Dot Q and Van Augur, and then play another 10 cost and ask for another red rock. And just keep repeating this. I mean, this is crazy. He pitched Jack, which is curious. He decided to keep counter here. Jack could have been helpful, like if he has red rock here, and then he needs to play Teach, and then he'll play the Jack again. But what a game for Dofli. This is just about as bad as, like I said, you could possibly get. He could go Dofi effect, hope to hit a card off the top, play Jozu Sengoku to go as wide as possible, but he almost has a swing and a board. I'm not really sure he can. Maybe he does pressure life here, but whatever he swings with the Dofi can just be blocked with the 10 cost Teach, so there's going to be 0 investment for the Blackbeard player to protect anything. If the attack is greater than what the 10 cost Teach can block, he'll just give the Vasco shot. There's almost no reason to even take the damage or anything else anymore. It's just so bad. Just absolutely so bad. Looks like he's opting for the wide, which is hope to hit a 4 cost, play Sengoku, play Jozu. This is going to significantly hamper the counter that he has in hand. But if you're Dofi here, I don't really think it matters. This is 7k swing. Where's it going? Oh, he does hit a card, but it's... Oh, dude, it's Marshall D. Teach. Man, just like nothing is going this guy's way this game. This has got to be one of the worst Dofi games you could possibly have in to Teach, I think. This is mad rough. And so, like, once again, this board isn't even threatening. Blackbeard can attack over the Teach. Dot Q is going to KO one of the cards. One of the Joes is going to be stopped by another 10 cost, and the 10 cost is going to get to swing. Along with Burgess and Van Augur. There will be a discard here. The Burgess won't be 7. Yeah, we're going to go 5 into 3. Yep. Dot Q to KO Sengoku. This is where if he would have kept Jack, he would have had the ability to get rid of one of the Jozus. Oh, this is terrible. Now 6 at life. He has a boa blocker and 2/1 cost, so he's probably taking this. Then it's going to be another 6. If the card off the top is a 2k, I imagine he'd counter there because he can't go to 1 with 2 10 cost Teaches. Right? Oh, wow. It is a 2k. Wow. That's very lucky for him. Looks like he's going to be forced to go to 1. Yeah, you can get rid of the Dot Q here. Stop a Jozu. 1 Jozu gets to swing. Pitch, activate ability. Oh, wow. That puts him at 7. So now he has to get rid of 2 cards. And then this 10 cost is going to put him to 1. Wow, this is crazy. The Blackbeard's got this in the bag. There's no way for him to win now. He has 2 life and 2 blockers up. I mean, this is completely resignable. What a horrible game for Dofi. But this game is also so terrible for the Doflamingo because of his own doing. His reckless decision to attack life and give Blackbeard cards in hand over swinging at the Daku just basically cost him the game. So I guess we'll go back and look to see how many cards the Daku got rid of. But I imagine if there was a decision point of what made this game as bad as it was for Dofi, it was certainly not getting rid of that Daku early. Oh yeah, he's just going to block that. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't overly invest in the Jozu attack to clear 10 cost because of the Vasco shot. Even if it does, the Dawn divvy up between the Burgess, a 10 cost, and a Van Auger and the leader will definitely secure a win. I mean, 4 is 13, whatever. What is this? Is he going 12 with the Teach? Yeah, he just blocks with Vasco here. Plays Bow Blocker. Not that it overly matters here, because of another Van Auger. 7. He's got 4 counter in hand. Yeah, just poke with the 7. Can get rid of 2. Yep. Can just attach a Dawn and go 7 again. Yeah, because you're going to be forced to take, and then it's like 12, and then block, and then 12 again, and then whatever. This is rough. Okay, so if you're the Doflamingo player, right, you definitely need to get rid of the Dot Q. Let's see this. This Dot Q got rid of 2 Sengokus, 2 Weevils, and a Boa. It got rid of 5 cards, okay? That is unacceptable if you're the Doflamingo player. You cannot allow this card to just continue to run amok, okay? I understand you want, like, Sengokus to swing into this card, but literally after KOing the Sengoku, he should have just directed the 7 at this card. Yes, you're not starving the black layer of cards because this card draws a card, but you are forcing him to use other KO methods. The other reason why you need to swing into the Dot Q, even if you do flop a card out of the top of your deck, instead of giving the card to Blackbeard in hand from life, and you still swing on the Dot Q, because if they have a boot in hand, your 4 cost dies, right? It doesn't matter. So you just might as well get rid of the Dot Q and let them draw a card and force him to have other KO methods. Let's look at all the KO that he had. I think this is for the game. He had 1 Jack, 1 Liberation, and then this Dot Q. This Dot Q got rid of 5 cards, dude. If he had got rid of this and he had pitched this Liberation for hand to have counter in his hand, this would have been a colossal loss. Because basically, for 3 or 4 turns, he wouldn't have been able to KO anything. Those Weevils would have got pressure, right? They would have got 7 swing pressures. The Boa wouldn't have died, right? Or maybe it would have because of Van Auger and Jack. But Blackbeard is then forced to play more of a grind game and swinging at the cards that are sideways. And this is also going to make the Burgess that he played on turn 2 very vulnerable to being subject to attack. This was the MVP. This guy owes his entire championship final round to this 1 card. And that is how, like, this attack on turn 1 was the game changer. If you're the Dofi player and you're watching this video, right, and you guys are wanting a tip for Nats or what you should do against Blackbeard, there's things that you should do, and this card being sideways, you should get rid of it every single time. All this to say, you're the Doflamingo player, you win this by going wide and then having those cards generate value swings in your favor. Going second, I also think isn't overly favored for Blackbeard because you don't give your opponent something to swing at. If you draw like Lafitte and you draw Dot Q, or you search Dot Q, or you have double Lafitte, Lafitte's basically kind of stall you a turn, and if they go at your life, oh, they are making a grave mistake. And it's also easier for you to get into the Dot Q KO line against the card that they flop out of life or actively choose to play out of their hand. If you go Lafitte on turn 1, Lafitte search on turn 2, play Dot Q, and then you're going in a 5 Dawn for Van Auger. And if you yield that kind of combination, whatever Dofi played on their first turn, whether it be a flop out of life or it be a straight play, is now going to swing momentum into your favor because you're going to be able to respond to the card. Now they have to respond to your board, attack into it, and then you guys start to go back and forth. But you do start another card down in hand, which is like a little bit risky, right? And you do give the Dofi player 2 Dawn to be able to play 2 1-drops to attack into your Lafitte. And this can be very, very backbreaking. If they like open up like Son Goku Perona, this is just going to be very, 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 very bad for your early game if you're Blackbeard, because of all the pressure at the Lafitte and the Dot Q that will be coming when eventually you turn it sideways. Now, Dot Q is also going to probably get value immediately. Luckily, like after you activate Lafitte, right, you play the Dot Q, you obviously just leave it kind of standing, and then they attack into your Lafitte, and then you like attack into the 1 cost card that swung, and then you activate leader ability, and then next turn you save it for the 4 cost that comes down, right? That's just kind of like what you have to do, have that little interim, and then they're going to swing into the Dot Q with the weenie guy, and then they'll swing leader at whatever. All that to say, without like breaking down kind of the game plan too heavily, because like I said, that there's a lot when it comes to like Blackbeard, how they need to play this. Just to give the Blackbeard player his marks, this is about as a convincing raffle stomp I've ever seen. His opponent definitely did make a mistake by not getting rid of this card. KOing 1 card, like 1 small guy early, is not that big a deal. KOing 1 4 cost is not that big a deal. KOing like 3 4 cost and another 1-drop later in the game, this Son Goku, it's just way too much, man. Like, you gotta, this card should have just been dealt with. He's very lucky. He's also saw multiple Burgess, like this Vasco Burgess play where he had the interim turn to basically swing 7, play these both, was disgusting. He had the 210 cost behind it. This is a resounding and convincing win for the Blackbeard player. Full marks for him for taking advantage. So that'll be pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one. We're going to be reviewing the other 2 CSs. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this review. And we're also going to kind of break down like maybe what they could have done a little bit differently or a little bit better. And I will catch you guys in the next one. This is Marcus from TCG Discussions signing off. Laters.